Kim Kardashian recently opened up about her evolving feelings on love. The more time she spends single, the more a romantic relationship seems less appealing than she once imagined. In a revealing moment on The Kardashians, she reflected on how her mindset has changed, what she prioritizes now, and what might make her fall in love again if the right person comes along. A shift in perspective. At 45, Kim Kardashian, business mogul, mother of four, and longtime celebrity, explained in a confessional on The Kardashians that she's grown increasingly comfortable in her own skin. Through nearly 5 years of being single since her divorce from Kanye West, she says she's found a place of peace and self-reliance. "You get really comfortable the longer you're single," she confessed. Over time, she's embraced the things she's built, her businesses, her family, her personal goals. "The idea of sharing a bed or even just a couch for movie nights," she said, "feels more like a compromise than a romantic ideal. The thought of you sharing a bed or your TV shows with someone else becomes less and less appealing because you get so set in your ways," she added. It's not that Kim has become cold or disillusioned about love. Rather, she argues, independence has its own appeal, especially when you've been in the public eye for as long as she has. She acknowledged that she may have built emotional walls, but insisted that those walls are not just for defense. They are also a way to guard her energy, especially around her children. The toll of public scrutiny. Kim's decision to protect herself emotionally is not without reason. Her co-star on The Kardashians, Sarah Paulson, spoke candidly to Kim about how her life is always under a microscope. Paulson suggested that, because Kim has spent her life in front of cameras, she may be guarding her heart more than she realizes. For Kim, that recognition struck a chord. "I know Sarah feels like I have to put up this wall to overprotect myself so that I just, maybe, don't open up to love," she admitted. "This wall," she said, "hasn't come simply from fear. It's also a purposeful boundary she maintains in order to focus on what matters most to her right now." Her commitment to her children plays a central role in that choice. Over the years, she's intentionally kept her life little and tight around her kids, making sure she has the emotional capacity to give them what they need. That sense of responsibility, she implied, sometimes comes at the expense of allowing relationships to bloom in more spontaneous or vulnerable ways. A conscious pause, not a shutdown. Despite her reservations, Kim was careful to clarify she's not closing the door on love forever. She described herself as the biggest hopeless romantic and admitted that if the right person comes along, she would be ready, emotionally and practically. "But it's okay to just shut down a little bit and just focus on the things I want in life," she said. She emphasized that her retreat into solitude is not about giving up, but about recalibrating. She's not chasing romance for its own sake. Rather, she wants it to align with her values, her schedule, and her emotional readiness. This is not her first very public relationship. Over the years, Kim has navigated intense, high-profile relationships, including her marriage with Kanye West, which lasted 7 years, and her more recent relationship with comedian Pete Davidson. Those chapters shaped her, taught her, but they also seem to have informed this more measured, careful approach to love. The comfort of solo life. Part of what makes being single so appealing to her now is the stability and predictability she's cultivated. She talked about how routines like evening Netflix show rituals or quiet nights at home have become precious to her. Sharing that space with someone new feels less necessary and potentially more disruptive. Her comfort in being single doesn't feel like loneliness, she insisted. Instead, it feels like a foundation, one she builds on, not one she needs to escape from. She acknowledged how easy it is to fall into old patterns, but she also recognized how freeing it is to say no, even when the world expects her to say yes. The price of vulnerability. Kim also recognizes that vulnerability comes with risk. Even as she yearns for deep connection, she's wary of exposure. Her openness about her emotional walls suggests she's learned from past relationships that closeness can bring both beauty and pain. Paulson's encouragement to let love bloom struck her deeply, but Kim stressed the importance of balance. For her, protecting her heart is not about shutting down entirely, but about choosing when and how to open it. She's aware that intimacy is powerful, but she's also learned that it needs to be respectful of her boundaries. A hopeful romantic at heart. Despite her reservations, she hasn't abandoned hope. She insists that she wants to be ready when the right person appears. But her vision of love now is different. It's less about filling a void and more about enhancing what she already has. Her idea of romance is no longer defined by dramatic gestures or whirlwind courtships. Instead, she imagines something more grounded, someone who complements her life rather than competes with it. Someone who respects her space, her work, and her commitments, and who sees her not just as a star, but as a partner, a friend, and a fellow traveler. She said that when she does open up, she'll be so ready, and she believes that everything will be fine. That confidence doesn't come from a dreamy idealism, but from a deeper self-awareness, knowing who she is, what she wants, and what she's willing to compromise on, and what she isn't. What this means for her future. Kim's conversation about romance is revealing in many ways. First, it shows how her priorities have evolved. Her time as a high-profile figure has made her cautious, but it's also made her clear about what she's willing to risk and what she's not. Second, it underscores her growth. The Kim Kardashian of today is not the same person she was a decade ago, or even 5 years ago. Her willingness to say no to traditional romantic expectations marks a significant shift in her personal narrative. Third, her remarks challenge conventional celebrity romance tropes. In a world where stars are often pressured to maintain a romantic storyline, she's rejecting that pressure. She's redefining what it means to be a celebrity woman in her 40s, one who is not desperate to pair up, but who still believes in partnership. Lastly, her openness has the power to resonate. Many people, not just celebrities, wrestle with the idea that being single might become easier as they age. Kim's reflections offer a different perspective, that satisfaction, agency, and self-fulfillment are not just alternatives to romance, but viable life paths in their own right. A final thought. Kim Kardashian's recent reflections on love feel deeply personal, even though she's spoken them in the glare of public attention. She is candid about her protective instincts, her comfort in being alone, and her cautious optimism about future romance. But above all, she seems to be saying, she's not done. She's just changed.